Palworld gives you 3 bases to work with, and I'm here to tell you about the perfect locations for setting up the bases in version 2 of Palworld. The latest updates changed everything, so my older guides kind of don't make sense anymore. Let's speedrun this. Flame078 here, time to upgrade your base setups. Now, I don't want to harp on the older locations too much, but prior to V2 Palworld, a big thing was setting up good mining ore farms and getting resources, as it was crucial for mid and end game. So originally this location here was awesome as it got you an early ore farm. And this mountainside base was awesome as it had the coal and ore needed for mid and end game. But now V2 introduced these ore sites, and that really makes anchoring on these particular base locations kind of pointless. For me personally, I ideally want 2 bases that focus on producing / farming, while my third is my main base. But this is my personal preference, especially with the raid boss. But more on that in just a second. So in V2, I want 2 goals for my bases. I want mining, and I want now a breeding base. So 2 of my bases, they need to be optimized for those 2 purposes. And this is my new mining base. It's a bit simplified and designed to be expendable. This location by the Anubis Alpha is perfect because it has about 5 or 6 coal nodes you can farm, and on top of that you have 2 other coal locations nearby that you can go to and easily manually mine them to get even more coal. I set this base up with an ore mining site level 2 and a stone pit, and I don't keep it at full capacity. I just keep my miners and some transport pals, and boom, a low maintenance farm base. A perfect replacement for the previous perfect mining base. A designated breeding base may not be something you want, and so I actually made a whole separate video describing this perfect breeding ranch base. I encourage you to check that out if that is something you want to actually build for yourself. But for the purposes of breeding, I think a location that has 2 temperature zones is the goal if that's where you want to make your base. Other than that, you basically now have 2 free bases to do what you want with. With V2, we now have Bellinor, a raid boss you can summon at your base. So for me, if I have 2 of my bases designated for production and farming, that would make this base where I summon the raid boss. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I love this base, and this base location is simply for aesthetics. This is where I designed it to be where I craft things and have my food production for my other bases. I also chose this Anubis location as it has a skill tree that I can farm, and it's a cool location. That new mining base I was talking about, that is my raid boss location. I designed it to be expendable for a reason. I destroyed all the mining related stuff, and now I have an open area to battle Bellinor. Shit will get destroyed, so you obviously do not want to do the raid boss at a base you actually care about. I'm still on the hunt for good locations for quartz and sulfur. However, to me at least, these resources are on-demand resources, so I don't really value having a base around farming them. For sulfur at least, right next to the fire boss guy, you can find about 7 or 8 nodes and get about 300 sulfur on a manual mining run. So that's my go-to for that resource. Just understand what kind of base you want. Do you want a mining farm base, a production base, or a ranch base? Or do you want something that looks cool? That determines what you should do. And my guide here is just one of the few possible locations for the perfect setup based on mining, breeding, and production. I hope this has helped. Like and subscribe as daily content such as tips and tricks and gaming news drop. Flame078 here. Until next time, adios.